Happy Tuesday, guys. There will be sacrifice on the path to becoming who you want to become and living the kind of life that you want to live. This is a non-negotiable. There is no way to avoid that you will have to sacrifice certain things. I don't want to say this to discourage you. I want to say this to encourage you and to empower you. Why? Because if you embrace this concept, you get to choose the sacrifices as opposed to life choosing those for you down the line. So there was always going to be a sacrifice of one thing or another to do what you know you need to do. If you want to be in shape, there are certain foods that you're going to have to sacrifice and eat less of. If you want to be really good at jiu-jitsu and at Muay Thai, there's going to be a time sacrifice because you're going to have to spend that time in the gym and not spend that time doing other things that may be less important to you. If you want to make it as an actor, as an artist of any kind, there's going to be a lot of sacrifice as far as money, relationships, friendships, comfort, because you have to grind on that path and really can't take no for an answer. So the sacrifice is coming no matter how you look at it, guys. As I always say, standard disclaimer, unless you are extremely fortunate. For the vast majority of us, 99.9% of us, the sacrifice is coming. What I don't want is for you guys to become victims of life sacrifices, the sacrifice that life is going to foist upon you. Instead, let's be proactive about it. So here's a couple of tips on how you can be proactive about sacrificing the right things. Number one, be clear on your daily and weekly action items that are most important for your craft. Look at your jiu-jitsu schedule, your Muay Thai training schedule. How often are you working as an actor? How often are you working as a musician? How often are you working on your business, right? There's obviously lots of sacrifices there. Once you have a clear path of what it is you need to do, you need to identify these items as basically high value or highly important activities that you take part in, okay? Number two, and this is the part that people are gonna dislike, but is actually the most important in this case, look at those things that you know that are time wasters and low value activities. It could be a certain video game that you play. It could be certain foods that you eat that you know are junk food. It could be certain people that you don't really accomplish much when you're spending time around them. Look at those things and just start going one by one. Okay, what's one thing I can give up so that I can achieve this big thing that I want to achieve as far as the person I want to become, the artist, the man, the woman, the partner, the business owner, whatever it is. Once you start looking at those things that are holding you back and start thinking, okay, would I be willing to give this up to achieve this? The sacrifice becomes easier. The more important reason, guys, why I want you to embrace this is because life is going to make you sacrifice anyway. It doesn't make you sacrifice necessarily so much up front when you're a teenager, your 20s, even your 30s. By 40s, the sacrifices start to kind of become apparent unless you have already made the choice for life. But eventually, life will basically tell you, hey, you are sacrificing X, Y, Z because of the realities of life. I don't want you guys to be in a situation where life happened to you, where those sacrifices came and you couldn't do anything about it. So the way to get ahead of that is be proactive, look at those things that are holding you back, and identify and ask yourself, what would I give up of these things? What would I sacrifice to become the man or woman that I want to be? When you frame all of your things like that, it becomes easy for you to give up those things you don't need to be eating. It becomes easy for you to give up those time-wasting activities that are comfortable, but you'd much rather sacrifice those as opposed to have to sacrifice your art, your craft, who you are as a human being, and where it is you want to go. So quick recap, guys, for those who are watching, I appreciate you guys watching these videos all the way through, of course. Number one, sacrifice is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. The good news is that if you want to and you're proactive, you embrace it, you get to choose the sacrifice as opposed to life. So take a look at what your number one, your high leverage, high value activities are that you're doing for your craft, yourself, the life you want to be. Always put those on the list of must-dos. Look at the other things you do, the time wasters, the foods that you know, the drinks that you know aren't good for you, the people that you know aren't good for you. And just ask yourself, would I give up this thing or this person or this item or this time-wasting activity to have more time to achieve what I want to achieve? It'll become very clear. Make the sacrifices, guys, before life makes you make them. Be a movie star every day. Have a great day, guys.